Hey Barn, this is Paulina on the Finnish Path. Welcome to my series of sample readings. As I've said before, I use a lot of spreads when I do my readings for my querents, and it just occurred to me that perhaps you would want to see how I actually interpret these different spreads. Now, if this video looks strange, that is because the spreads we are going through are getting bigger with more cards. Today we have 7 cards on the table, so I have to turn my camera, my laptop, to the other side so that you can see more of the table in front of me. So that is what is going on. And today, like I said, we have a 7 card relationship spread that we will be looking at, and the spread is called Looking for Love. Now this spread is used when people haven't found their partner yet, their ideal partner or the love of their life, and they want to know why and if they are ever going to find someone or when it will happen. So this spread answers to questions like when will I meet my twin flame, like many people call it, twin flame. Or question could be, why haven't I met my soulmate yet? Oh, a jumper. So this is the spread I use for that. Now also for this particular reading, I also need the date of birth of the querent. And from the date of birth, I determine 3 extra cards: a birth card, a soul card, and a growth card. And I am using my own birthday for this. So I have already calculated these 3 cards. I'll just take them out of the deck. Just a minute. I could, of course, have done this before I started filming. Oh, there we go. One more card. I will tell you more about this in a moment. Okay, I already passed the other card. Let's go over this again. Oh, here we are. Right. So these are actually my birth card and my growth card. This strength is my birth card and soul card. Now the meaning of these cards are the birth card is about the person's personality and their life goals and the challenges they go through during all of their life. So this is about personality. And then the soul card, which actually for me happens to be this very same card, the soul card is about inner abilities and characteristics of the person, and also the lessons they need to learn during their life. This is about the whole life journey. Both birth card and soul card are about the whole life journey. And then the growth card is calculated for the coming year. It is just for 1 year. So the year we are living now, 2018, this is my growth card for this particular year. And this card tells about the energies that will affect me during this 2018 and the tasks that I will encounter, also the challenges that I will have to go through, and generally just about what I need to focus on and what will be kind of first and foremost in my year, in the coming year. Now I will put these aside, and when I do the reading for an actual querent, I interpret these cards for them so that they also get some insight to themselves and their personal journey outside of this relationship spread. Right. Oh, by the way, I will go into more detail about how to calculate, how to find these birth card, soul card, and growth card. I will put instructions for that in my blog. It's just calculating, so it's really easy. All three formulas, if you like, will be there in my blog. But now we will go to the actual spread, the Looking for Love spread, 7 cards. And this is the way they go. The first position is, why haven't you found a partner yet? And the second one, how can you overcome those obstacles? I will lift these cards up later on. And, oh, actually, my deck is upside down. I don't read reversals myself. I mean, I don't like my cards being upside down. I do include the reversed meanings into the reading, but I don't need the card to be upside down to know when to use the reversed meaning. Just so you know. Okay, this was number 2. How can you overcome these obstacles? Then number 3. What can you do to find a partner? There we go. And number 4, who would be the right person for you? Then, oh, I have to move these a little. Like I said, this is kind of spacious spread. And then number 5, where will you find them? This is where. And when will you find them? And then finally, the last card is good advice for the journey. Okay. So this is the whole spread. The 7 cards over here. And like always, the first thing I do, I look at all the cards on the table. Not these ones though, but on the spread. I look at the numbers. And if there are major arcana cards here, then I will understand that this finding a partner will be a major thing on the whole life journey, on the growing of this particular querent. And looking at the cards here, we have 2 major arcana cards. Both are actually in positions that are to do with the querent themselves, their personality, and yeah, them as a person, which is, yeah, so a lot of this is riding on the personality of this querent. Oh, and by the way, like I said, this is a sample reading. There is no actual person I am making this spread for. So this is a querent, an imaginary person. Yep. And then also about the numbers, I look at the numbers. There's a, let's see, there's a number 3, number 6, number 8 and number 10. But more importantly, what strikes me is that we have a Queen of Pentacles here, a Court card. Now, this confirms what I already read from these cards, that this spread is about, or this finding a partner is about the personality of this querent. That's what if there are a lot of court cards here, then it just emphasizes this, that this really is about the querent's personality, and it is something in them that will either hinder them from finding a partner or help them. And then I also look at the suits on the table, and suits typically talk about which aspects of life this particular question touches in the querent's life. Now, there are 2 major arcana cards here. Then we have 2 swords here, which are intellect and thought. Then there are 2 cups, which is emotion, and 1 pentacle, which is home and work and material aspects in our lives. There are no wands here, wands being passion and action and things like that. So there is one suit missing altogether. But this spread is very specific in the positions that are here. Each of these positions answer 1 question. So there are actually 7 different questions and 7 different answers here. So typically looking at all the suits on the table is not as important as in other spreads, but the suits themselves will bring more clarity as we start going through the positions in each individual card in each position. That's when the suits really give us more insight. Okay, and that is actually what we will start doing right now. We will start going through each individual position. And the first one here was, why haven't you found a partner yet? This is something that is a major issue for the querent. This is something they are actually actively thinking about. This question is creating a lot of insecurity in them. Am I good enough? Am I not good enough because I just can't seem to find anyone who would, want to be with me? This is really, it can be really hurtful. So we have to be very careful interpreting this, the card in this position, because this goes right into the characteristics and the personal things concerning the querent. So very light touch here. And this is often the major, the major reason for this reading, that the querent is feeling insecure and they are wondering why they can't seem to find anyone. So very light touch here. And if it happens that this particular, the card we get in this position is somehow very hard to interpret, it doesn't open up to us easily, then it is a good idea to draw a clarifier, a new card from the deck to clarify this card. But in our sample reading here, we got the Hanged Man. So this is actually This makes a lot of sense in a reading like this particular card, this Hanged Man, because this is about looking at the world from new perspective. So if the question here is, why haven't you found a partner yet? And we get the Hanged Man, then we might even throw it to the querent saying that, are you sure you haven't? I mean, are you sure you are looking at this the right way, this situation you are in? And or you could start talking about perhaps what is it that you are looking for in a partner? Are you perhaps being unrealistic? Are you looking for some ideal partner, and that's why you can't seem to be able to find them, because obviously ideal people don't exist? So this is actually a really versatile and open card for this particular position. Then we move on to position number 2, and the question here was, how can you overcome these obstacles? And Temperance here. Oh well. Well, so going straight into this card, the one we drew for this sample reading, well, patience. Patience, patience is what Temperance is saying. But thinking just about the position here, this card kind of ties in with the first card, and this is an important card because this card can show the querent that they don't have to worry, that even though there are obstacles, there is always a way out. There's something they can do. And this card can show solutions for the querent on how they can move forward. And it's very often a good idea to tie these two together, these two cards. But like I said, the Temperance card is talking about patience. So perhaps I would tell this querent that they can overcome the problem of perhaps unfortunate perspective on the whole matter. They can overcome this obstacle with patience, with being patient, something along those lines. And then position number 3, the question that this card answers is, what can you do to find a partner? This is also very much in connection with these two cards. This is kind of practical instructions. What do we have here? 8 of Cups. Cups being emotion, and 8 being action and creation, being creative. This position shows the querent a way forward, and also tells them, again, reassures them that all is not lost. There are things they can do. And this card should, when we interpret this card, we should make sure that we give the querent hope, and hope about that, finding a partner, and also giving them specific advice if at all possible. Now, thinking about the card we pulled, this 8 of Cups, thinking about that this is emotion and action and creation. Oh well, looking at the picture in this card, there's a person who has a nice row of cups in almost a form of a pyramid, but still they have turned their back on these cups and they are moving forward. They are leaving, they are, going to find new things. They are being creative, in fact. Taking up new paths in their life. Doing new things and discovering new things in their life. Now that's actually very good instructions or to give this querent in this situation. And thinking about all these three together, they kind of tie in together nicely. We'll go into that a bit later. We'll start comparing these different cards to each other. Okay. Then position number 4. Who would be the right person for you? We have 6 of Swords. But thinking about this position first. Now this is a really interesting position, because this card, the card in this position, hints to the personality of this possible future partner. And it might well be that this future partner is actually already in the querent's life. They actually already know them. It just never occurred to them that this person in their life might be a perfect partner for them. I mean, happens all the time. You just get blind to people in your life in many ways. Or it could be that this person is someone they take the morning bus every day, and they are nodding acquaintances or something like that. So interpreting this card might give a clue to the querent, saying that, wait a minute, there is actually this dude in that bus every morning that this card reminds me of. So this is an interesting spot on this position on this spread. Right, the card we drew, 6 of Swords. Swords was about intellect and thought, also about conflict and challenge. And number 6 is working together, or communication. Perhaps they know someone they really enjoy talking to. Perhaps they have intellectual kind of debates with someone over a cup of coffee, and they are always getting into arguments or conversations about something, That might jog something in the querent. They might start thinking about, oh yeah, wait a minute, there's this person in my chess class that we are always debating about the climate change, or, well, something like this. Something might, jog the querent's memory, that they actually might know their perfect partner already. They just haven't realized it. A lot of hope in this position. There can be, depending on the card. Then moving on, number 5 here. Now we are getting close to why the querent actually, or what the querent is waiting for. It's these 2 cards. These are the burning questions in the querent's mind, and that is where and when. We'll go to where first. Now, Tarot doesn't give out addresses. I mean, the card we get here will not be telling us that you need to go to this address and your partner will be waiting for you there. Sadly, that does not happen, but we do get hints from the card in this position, and if we are lucky, we get really clear hints, like now we have a suit card here. If the card here was a major arcana card, it might indicate that this question, the question of where can I find them, is actually not relevant. That's not, it's not about the location. And if that was the case, then we would need to interpret the major arcana card we got here very carefully, because there is a hint of where, as in what is happening around me when I meet this person. It could be something like this. But now this is relatively easy for us since we got a suit card, because there is a where in each of the 4 suits, and the swords is east, or indeed to the right. So this card is hinting to us that they will meet the person east of where they are now, or to the right from themselves. So it could be that they will go to a marketplace east of town, and they will run into their partner there. Or it could be that when they are sitting in their favorite coffee shop, eating their lunch or whatever, there could be that there is someone sitting to their right that is perhaps often there. They have their own special seats, and this person is always sitting right from the querent. So it could be something like this. Or it could, of course, mean that their future partner might be coming from east, eastern side of the country, or east of the river, or they could be oriental. I mean, could be something like this. And when there is an actual person the reading is for, things like these open up a lot easier. But since the person this is for doesn't exist, it's kind of open-ended. But there are many possibilities that this card could hint to. And then the other burning question, number 6, when will I meet them? This is something they are seriously concerned with. They really want the answer to this one. This is actually the heart of the matter to the querent. When will I find them? It could be that they have been waiting for, looking for someone for years, and they have been waiting for them for years, and they have been patient. And when am I going to find my perfect soulmate, my twin flame? So a lot rides on this placement and the card in it. And this is probably the thing the querent will leave with. When the reading is done, this is what they will remember. At least this is what they will remember. And we very seldom get a clear answer, again, because tarot cards don't do dates either, or times, no more than they do addresses and places. But again, we can get a good hint from the card. And again, it's the same thing. If this was a major arcana card, we could assume that the when is not actually the relevant question here, despite the position. But there's something else going on. Perhaps something needs to happen first before they can meet their future partner. It could be something like that with a major arcana card. But with the suit card, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Lovely lady. So again, we have a hint from the suit. And thinking about times, the Pentacles are about winter and about night. And also, a pentacle can mean that something will take years before it happens. So if we take the number of this card, queens are number 13 in the suit, and then we think that it's years. So, I mean, that would be kind of horrible if we just go out and say to the querent that, yeah, it will take you 13 years before you meet your twin flame. It could actually be true. It could mean 13 years, but that's not something you would want to go out and say, just, you know, blurt out as a fact, because there are other things that might influence the timeline here. You might, again, it's difficult to interpret a draw for a non-existent person. So if I was making this reading for a real person, I would get a clearer answer as to what is actually the meaning of this card. But as a general rule, it never hurts to be kind. And on the other hand, if the card is telling you, I mean, if you are absolutely certain that it will take 13 years, then that is what you have to tell the querent. But there are many ways of doing that. You can tell them in a way that they don't, you know, despair. So this is a very tricky card to interpret. And the other things that this particular card, Queen of Pentacles, might suggest is that it could be next winter, or it could be that you meet them nighttime. It might be nighttime when you meet them. So there are many possibilities here. And it's always tricky. Times and exact numbers and things like that, dates and times and locations are really, Tarot is not very good with those. Okay, and then number 7 is good advice for the journey. Now, even though these two are the questions that are burning holes in the querent's mind, this is actually the one we want them to remember. So this card is very important to interpret as well as possible, and also go in depth here, because this is the way forward for the querent. And this partner, this card should show the querent that all is not lost. They are not destined for solitude and loneliness for the rest of their lives, or even for 13 years necessarily. So it's up to us to find the hope and a way forward in this card for the querent, so that when they leave, they are carrying this hope with them. And hopefully they will perhaps change their life in such a way that it becomes easier for them to meet more people, and that way perhaps also meet their future partner. So a lot rides on this particular card, and the one we are getting here is actually it's an absolute jackpot, if you like. It's 10 of Cups. Cups was about emotion and love and empathy, and number 10 is success and completion, and also it's about moving on and a new round starting. So I mean, oh wow. And also looking at the picture here in this card, a celebration going on, life is bliss, and as advice for the good advice for the journey, I mean, well, couldn't get any better than this particular card. There is a lot for this non-existent querent to hope for and look for in the future, and all is definitely not lost. There's some lovely things waiting for them in the future. Okay, so that was the individual cards in their positions, and the next thing that I do, I start comparing these different positions to each other. I already did a bit of that, but the obvious pairing, like I said before, is this one. Position 1 and position 2. That's why haven't you found your partner yet, and how can you overcome the reason why you haven't found them. This is a good pairing, and also since this goes right into the personal characteristics of the querent, well, being blunt, you haven't found them because you are looking at the whole thing the wrong way. So I mean, wake up, smell the roses. No, I would never ever say anything like this to anyone, even if I thought that, and I generally don't think like that about people. But being blunt, that is actually what this card is more or less saying. And reading these together, and it can also be that you might even want to lift a clarifier for these two together. You can do this at any time. What did we get? King of Swords. Oh dear. Yeah, now there's a sharp mind. Basically telling the querent to be the manager in their own life. Okay. No need for clarifiers here though. So this is a pairing. And then incorporating also this third card from position number 3. What can you do to find a partner? You can up and go, seek new adventures, do new things. There is a kind of a journey here. And looking at these two, these are major arcana cards. And this is a suit card. So it seems to me that this person is really and truly kind of stuck in their life. And they really do need to move on, go and look for new things. There's a nice little journey here, like present and advice for the present. Yeah, okay, that's an obvious pairing there going on. And then another one is the card here, the personality card for the possible future. partner. And it can also be interesting to compare this card to the soul card, birth card, soul card, and growth card of the querent. If there is anything going on here, there might be a connection. Well, there isn't actually, not with these cards, but this is something that can be interesting to make this comparison. Compare number 4 to the querent. I feel really funny about these two because these are my cards, my own personal cards, so I'm kind of don't want to go there even. And yes, I have read them for myself earlier, obviously. And then another pairing again, this one, where and when. And this was the heart of the matter for the querent. This is what they came to hear, where and when. There's one pairing there. And then finally, the final card. It's good to compare this to all the rest of the cards here and see if this card somehow, oh, are you getting a glare? If this card somehow amplifies any of the other cards here. Well, this is a cup. So there's another cup here. And this was what to do. Well, yes, absolutely. This is also good advice for the journey. And this is what to do to get out of the rut. So, okay, well, looking at these particular cards, I would say that this is absolutely very important. Going out there, just judging by the suits. Going out there and seeking new paths, seeking new adventures. Right, so this is the technique I use when I interpret this particular spread. Now, like I said, this is a series that I'm doing, and I will be writing all of this down in my blog. So if you are interested in following this series and seeing how different kinds of spreads are being interpreted, how they can be done, how I personally do this, then you can subscribe to my blog. And that way you will always be notified when I post anything there. Or indeed, if you prefer watching a video like this, then you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. And there will be, at the end of this video, there will be my logo that will appear in the, let's see if I can, here, this corner, lower right-hand side corner of the screen. And if you click that, then it's easy for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you will also be notified when I post a new video. And then, obviously, this is a reading I do for my clients. So if you are in a situation where you would need a reading like this, then you can find this reading in my web shop and you can book a reading with me. Okay, so thank you for watching yet again. I will be posting a new reading a week from now. That is, what is it, 23rd of May. That's also obviously a Wednesday. And that will be our last relationship spread. And that one will be a whopper. It's from memory, is it 15 cards, and it will be about an ongoing relationship and what are the dynamics of that relationship. So that's a really interesting one, a big reading it's going to be. And like I said, that is going to happen a week from now. So I do hope you will join me again then. Thank you for watching and have a lovely week. Hey, hey!